Britney Spears was everything society tells a woman to be. She was sexy, but not too sexual. She was talented, but not too threatening. She smiled, she performed, she gave the world exactly what they wanted. And we loved her for it. Behind that was a girl who had been working full time since she was 8 years old. Narcissistic family members, a sexualized teenager who at the same time was being pressured to stay innocent.
One subject we didn't discuss. What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay, in general, what do you think about breast implants? Just in general.
Well, I think if that's what you want to do and that would make you happy, then I see nothing wrong with it. But I haven't done that. But I think it's sad that people, think I've done that because that makes them want to go out. And, some of the fans that look up to me, they either think bad of me or they may want to go out and do that. But that's not my fault because the press started that. But
exactly.
If you want to do that, that's fine. But I personally wouldn't do that. So.
Okay.
An abusive partner who gaslit and humiliated her publicly. In 2007, Britney Spears shaved off her head. And at the time, instead of anyone asking, why is this woman not okay? The media laughed at her and they called her crazy and they didn't respect her privacy. And they wore her down until she couldn't take it any longer. Britney Spears shaved her head because the root of her problems came to the surface. Think about your favorite plant. Think about the color of the blossom, the beauty of it. The flower is everything that people want to pay attention to. This is what psychologists call the light. The light is what gets the attention, it's what gets the praise and all of the applause and so on. The root of a plant is underground. This is the psychological shadow. It's not particularly beautiful. Nobody really sees it. No one really thinks about it too deeply, and people definitely don't talk about it. But if you wear down the root of a flower, or if you cut down the root of a flower, then everything's done. The flower dies. That's what society does to people. That's what happened to Britney Spears, and it's also happened to so many other young people in Hollywood. The ancients sacrificed to the gods publicly, and they did it to feed something larger than themselves. Sometimes they would sacrifice children, sometimes they would put animals on an altar and slaughter them and sacrifice those. And there was also the ancient ritual of creating a scapegoat and driving it into the wilderness as a collective sacrifice. Each and every ritual required a victim. It was always communal, and the crowd and the masses always passively participated. Now, let's bring it up to the present day and let's look at what we do to celebrities in the media. We select them, we elevate them, and we worship them collectively for a little while. And then at a certain point, when their shadow comes to the surface, we consume that too. The world watched as Britney Spears got sacrificed in real time for years. And now we're still shocked that she is not okay. The only difference between us and the ancients that sacrificed babies is that we think that we are better than that. We're not. And on a collective level, we are in deep denial. At least the ancients were honest about what they were doing. They were open about the fact that they were feeding something. But the question that I want to ask you is what? Who were these gods? Ancient mystics across multiple traditions that Abrahamic religion has buried beneath the surface have been trying to warn us about a particular danger for millennia. The gods that the people at the time had been sacrificing to needed the blood and the spectacle of an innocent victim. And they believed that these gods are real demons that have real influence in the world. And they believed that there are forces that feed on human suffering and that have always operated through culture, through certain religions, and through certain brands of secret societies and so on. And humanity has always, mostly unconsciously, served these gods. The mystics called this the hidden architecture of the world, the problem behind the problem, the thing behind the thing. They believe that that is the reason why the world keeps demanding sacrifice, no matter how civilized society thinks that it has become. Britney Spears was the altar, the public was the priest, and most people at the time, especially at the time, had no idea that they were even participating in a ritual. Celebrity culture, thank God, is dying, and it needs to continue to die. As a society, we have more freedom of information these days, and we can communicate with each other, and we as a whole are starting to understand the importance of root work or shadow work. And we are starting to understand and accept that performance destroys, okay, both in Hollywood, in the distance, in celebrity culture, and in our own lives. I am a root worker. I am an alchemist, and I teach you how to recognize these patterns in your own life. Okay, because the same patterns and the same systems that destroyed Britney Spears and so many others in Hollywood is running around you as well. We live in a world that is deeply uncomfortable with its own shadow. We are taught by our families and by culture to suppress our shadow, to suppress our negative emotions, to pray them away, or to avoid them and pretend that they aren't there. And religion, especially, for all of its beauty, is largely built on that same avoidance. And what I mean by that is that it offers its followers the flower. Okay, it teaches us the highest ideals, but it doesn't teach us how to tackle the root first. And that is not a criticism of any religion, but many Abrahamic religions teach half-truths, and that is intentional. And I am so confident that it will give you the answers that you're looking for that I am going to give it away to you for free. Link is in the bio or below. Sign up if you want to learn more. Thanks for watching.